still to come. Co-parenting can be very difficult for split families.
So this morning we're speaking live with psychologist Reena Patel, who's giving tips to help parents work together for their children. That's coming up. With 40 to 50% of U.S. marriages resulting in divorce, many kids grow up with split families. July, if you did not know, is Child-Centered Divorce Month, and the perfect time for some co-parenting tips.
And here with ways to keep your family kid-focused during a split is educational psychologist Reena Patel. Good morning. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate this.
Good morning.
It's something that really needs to be talked about because a lot of times people don't want to talk about this. Divorce, already a very difficult time, but you say the key to successful co-parenting is what?
Communication, keeping that open dialogue. That's the number one thing I always tell families who are going through divorce to really keep in mind. Being positive, using positive language, having a way to communicate. In the beginning, obviously, it's understandably not going to be as civil, but there are great programs out there, apps, and some things that you can find online to help with that communication when you're not ready to be face-to-face.
Isn't that interesting? There's an app for it.
There's an app for that? There's just about an app for everything.
There's an app for everything, right?
My brother and sister-in-law, they're very happily married. One thing they always tell me, they like their child to have consistency, and I'm guessing the same goes if the parents split up as well, right?
Absolutely. Children want to feel a sense of belonging, right? And imagine going through a divorce that shatters, and a sense of belonging is important, and keeping consistency all the way down to schoolwork, activities. It's not as easy when you're going from one household to the other, and oftentimes children have to break midweek, and so consistency is very important.
And you might find during these difficult times the child might act out, might do things that you wouldn't normally see, the kind of bad behavior, and you have to really recognize that for what it is.
Right. I mean, you have to understand it's a transition period. It's a change, and seeing behaviors, no matter what age your child is, you're going to see whether they're a teen or a toddler, and understanding that, helping them feel that it's not their fault and it is a change, and really working through those behaviors. So that's why creating consistent discipline plans is important. Obviously, it's not going to be the same in both households, but making sure that you have a set consequence for the behaviors and reassuring the children is very important.
Is that where flexibility comes into play?
Yes, absolutely. Being flexible as a parent, especially any parent, but going through a divorce is very key. And making sure that you don't allow your child to be the one to dictate or tell you, as parents going through a divorce often finds you kind of play into that guilt. And so wanting to get them things that the other parent hasn't, the ex. So it's really important to be flexible and also not play into their behavioral guilt.
You always hear about the ugly divorces where the parents use the kids as a pawn, or they talk badly about, their ex, and that's so dangerous to the whole dynamic.
Right. I mean, children are sponges. They're going to model what we do. And so let's show them better ways to problem solve. And so keeping the language positive, even your nonverbal cues, your gestures on how you respond to certain situations is important. Children will look at that. They'll respond to that. You want to keep talk, communication, everything about the ex as positive as can be.
My parents split up when I was 4, and they speak Hungarian, and we don't. So that was kind of helpful, because they would really complain to each other, but we would have no clue.
As long as they kept their tone of voice?
Yeah, we knew it was serious because it was Hungarian, Magyar, as they called it, but
oh, wow.
I had no clue what they were saying.
Mom and Dad are fighting, they're speaking.
Yeah, they're speaking Hungarian. We're like, hey,
Hungarian.
whatever,
But that's kind of, sometimes you can kind of speak in code, whether it be another language, or just knowing like, okay, the child can hear us, we're going to keep it smooth and keep it level, and do the fighting or the arguing or the deep discussions away from the child.
Absolutely.
It should always be that way.
Right. It doesn't have to be in front of the children. Know that they're watching your every move, and then also that remembering that it's you as parents that were divorcing, not the children or their parenting styles oftentimes. And so that I always encourage parents to keep in mind as well. It's not their fault. They're not the ones divorcing you.
Right.
It was the marriage that didn't work out.
Maybe someone's out there right now and they say to themselves, you know what, I don't want to mess up my kid's life. Let's just stay together. But the relationship is obviously broken. What do you say to those folks out there?
You know, I always say if it's not meant to be, I mean, at the end of the day, you want children's overall wellness you want to be an advocate for your child. And I know some families and I've worked with clients that they stay together for the sake of the child, but children are smart. They know. And even though you're arguing behind the scenes, they can see unhappiness.
Sure.
And so sometimes it's best to part and co-parent and teach children what they need to look for in a spouse or a partner. And so it's okay to ask for help and get advice. Seek someone like me who can help guide the process. It's not going to happen overnight, but there are great tools and support systems out there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
if you'd
you.
like some more information from Reena, you can visit reenabpatel.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.